Like I say, to change the financial profile of Nigeria, we can say goodbye to aid or dollar support. And as a country that is said to have the largest GDP in Africa, I believe that we'll be showing a shining example for other African countries to follow.
Revitalization and repositioning of Nigeria's insurance sector is key to the development of the insurance practice in the country. This was part of the fallout of discussions at the 2019 National Insurance Conference, Abuja. Chimobi Walter, Nigeria, reports that participants at the conference believe that the insurance industry in Nigeria is long overdue for consolidation and restructuring.
Exploit opportunities of digitalization and to tame the culminating consequence of inflation and devaluation of the naira, heighten the necessity of the ongoing reforms in the insurance industry, such as the expansion of insurance distribution channels, financial inclusion, corporate governance enforcement, market discipline professionalism, and the recapitalization exercise aimed at strengthening insurance institutions.
This effort would produce very strong and outstanding companies that would contribute effectively to the gross domestic product of the nation. This plan has charted a new course for the service with the sole aim of ensuring a service that is efficient, productive, incorruptible, and citizen-centered.
And to other matters now, 100 youths have been empowered in Nasarawa State as part of expansion of cinema culture in Nigeria for economic prosperity. This was at the National Film and Video Censors Board Media Literacy, Youth Empowerment and Capacity Building in Mararaba. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
This is Mararaba, a densely populated settlement in Nasarawa State, and one that hosts a lot of people from across the country, due to its proximity to the Federal Capital Territory. It is invaded by youths from the states who are about to bid farewell to unemployment.
That they could take advantage to earn a living and become self-reliant. Congratulations.
Usman Abdullahi is one of the 100 youths empowered with starter packs of phone, photo and video cameras after being trained by the National Film and Video Censors Board.
The short stories I've written will translate into movies, and I hope to showcase it here.
Usman and his colleagues' chances of making it is further enhanced by the efforts to return cinema culture in Nigeria, leading to the design and construction of this 300-seater capacity green multipurpose cinema.
With all the projection international-wise and from Nollywood as well. And we will have also an open-air stage for live concerts.
For the Executive Director of National Films and Video Censors Board, Adedayo Thomas, empowering the youth is empowering the future of the nation.
Theater is there. Musical shows will be coming in. That's a big one for the industry. That's a big one for the country. And that's to show that the president is really keen in his art in developing the creative industry.
The cinema, which will be the first in Nasarawa State, is expected to be completed in November and become operational by December. It is perhaps then that these youths will appreciate this event more. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And it's over now to Rachel Shaibu for news from the financial sector.
Hello and welcome to Business News. West African nations have adopted a flexible currency regime after making considerable progress on plans for single currency. Heads of state of the 15-member West African Community of African States, ECOWAS, met on Saturday in Abuja to review progression on integration. The body said in a statement that the bloc had made considerable progress on the single currency and has adopted ECO as the currency's name. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria says the non-performing loans of banks, fell by 6% from 15% in June 2017 to 9% in May 2019. The Apex Bank stated that capital adequacy ratio for the banking industry improved from 11% in June 2017 to over 16% in May 2019, and liquidity levels had also increased by over 20% within the same period. In the meantime, the nation's stock market went down by 3.55% in June as investors recorded losses of 479 billion naira. The market, which opened the month of June with a market capitalization of 13.685 trillion naira, closed 1102.5 basis points lower at a market capitalization of 13.206 trillion naira on Friday, June 28th. The stock market wraps up business news. I am Rachel Shaibu.
Many thanks, Rachel. The essence of government is to provide for its citizens, and these can only be actualized when organs of government work in unity of purpose. In furtherance of this, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, met the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, during which he sought the support of the National Assembly in achieving President Muhammadu Buhari's plan for Nigerians. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
It's been a period of interface and bridge building between the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and heads of government agencies. This is part of the process of lubricating the machinery of intergovernmental relations.
To provide for the
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa's visit was primarily to seek the support of the National Assembly in achieving the President's anti-corruption fight, strengthening of security and diversification of the Nigerian economy.
So by right, you are the ones that are the custodians of our national principles, our ethos, our being as a nation.
The Senate President presented a positive response.
The President wants to leave legacies. We are prepared to go all the way to support the President and the administration. But we are also urging those who will be appointed to remain committed to those ideals of ensuring that legacies are delivered, created, and are left by the President and indeed the administration.
Senator Lawan believes that some government programs and policies need review for efficiency, such as the social intervention program, public procurement process, and the timeline for the presentation of budget to the National Assembly.
The Public Procurement Act, I think, needs to be reviewed and amended. The process takes time. The 15% mobilization, I think, is demobilizing our projects.
President of the Senate thereafter inspected the Senate chamber and was satisfied that the Senate is ready to reconvene Tuesday, the 2nd of July 2019.
The sitting arrangements, I think, are perfectly done, and we are looking forward to resuming tomorrow.
From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Similarly, the National Assembly has been urged to facilitate a legislative process towards actualizing federal government's commitment of pulling 1 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said this during an interaction with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The tripod agenda of the present administration of fighting corruption, securing the nation and economic diversification, no doubt, requires the input of the legislature as an arm of government to be effectively implemented. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, believes when the three arms of government work together to provide good governance, all segments of society stand to benefit, which is why he is extending a hand of fellowship to the National Assembly to deliver on promises made to Nigerians. He congratulated the Speaker for his emergence as presiding officer through what he called overwhelming bipartisan support of lawmakers of the 9th Assembly. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, says nation building is a joint task, stressing that the three arms of government are independent and interdependent. He solicited early submission of the medium-term expenditure framework to the National Assembly to enable quick passage of appropriation bill.
This is the timetable that we have set. One, the MTF to be submitted in the next 2-3 weeks for us to go over it, work on it, and pass it before we go on our long break. And then come back in September, and the end of September, present the budget to us. Now, what does that do? It leaves us with 3 months, 3 clear months to pass the budget. And what does that do? It brings us back to that cycle that has been evasive of January to December.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives is set to resume plenary after 2 weeks break.
Very soon, the Speaker will be unveiling the legislative agenda of the House, which is a document that has the input of all political parties represented in the House.
Whatever comes from the executives, we fine-tune it and provide the legislative framework for it to function.
Other issues that would dominate activities at the National Assembly are the appointment of principal officers for the Ninth Assembly. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. Time for a break now. We'll be back shortly with more news.
With heavy hearts, we announce the death of Honorable Haske Francis Hanania, which occurred on Tuesday, 25th June 2019. The funeral arrangement is as follows. Tuesday, 2nd and Wednesday, 3rd July, service of songs at his residence, number 18, Danube Street, Maitama, Abuja, time 5 p.m. Thursday, 4th July, wake keep at LCCN Church, St. Paul's Cathedral along Abuja Kefi Expressway, Nyanya, time 4 p.m. Friday, 5th July, corpse leaves National Hospital, Abuja, to Yola by air, and then proceeds to Hong Local Government Area for lying in state at General Hanania's residence, time 7 a.m. Saturday, 6th July, funeral service at LCCN number 1, Hong, and interment at Central Cemetery, Hong, time 10 a.m. Announcer H.A. Hanania for the family.
You're welcome back. And judiciary's matters now, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has reserved ruling for Wednesday, 3rd July on the application by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, urging the tribunal to allow them join issues with the All Progressives Congress on a notion to dismiss the PDP petition. The 5-member Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, led by Justice Mohammed Garba, gave the verdict as it resumed sitting on Monday. Dele Atumbi reports.
The PDP and its candidate through their lead counsel, Livy Uzogu, moved the application filed on 18th June 2019, pleading with the court to give them the opportunity to join issues with the APC on its motion pending before the court, filed on 15th May. The APC in this motion, which was initially unchallenged by the PDP, is urging the court to dismiss the petition of the PDP and its candidate at the pre-hearing stage, though the petitioners through their counsel joined issues with the APC on its application filed on 14th May, which the respondent has withdrawn from the court and elected the one it filed on 15th with and merely raised objection on its purported similarities. This the court took judicial notice of on the petitioner's inability to join issues on this matter within 7 days as stipulated by law. However, in the interest of justice, the petitioners are urging the court to give them the opportunity to reply the APC on the matter. Counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, Wale Olanipekun SAN, who objected to the application, appealed to the court to dismiss it. Lateef Fagbemi SAN, counsel to the APC and Ustaz application. Ruling of the court on petition beyond its pre-hearing stage on the PDP petition. During the trial proper, the PDP is proposing to call 400 witnesses with petitioners instead of 14 days, while respondents will have to present their case within 6 days instead of 10 days.
Staying with legal matters, the federal and $8 traced to bank account belonging to Patience Jonathan to the federal government. The former First Lady failed to show cause while the money will not be forfeited. Laura Chuba, who was at the Federal High Court, has more.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had secured an interim forfeiture of the sums in April following a motion ex parte. Joined as respondents to the suit are Patient Jonathan, Globus Integrated Services Limited, Fleetchi Top Homes Limited, AMPM Global Network, Pragma Oil and Gas Limited, Magal Resort Oil, and Esther Oba. EFCC counsel Rotimi Oyedapo had in October 2018 moved a motion for final forfeiture of the firms. The commission had alleged the firms were not into any income-yielding legitimate business venture to earn such amount, but rather they were incorporated for the purpose of concealing proceeds of unlawful activities of the former First Lady. Defense counsels Ifedaya Adedipe and Mike Ozokome had opposed the application. Justice Mojisola Olateregu had directed parties to give oral evidence to explain the ownership of the money. The court had admitted electronic evidences presented by the respondents' counsel, which depicted video exhibits showing various business outfits of the respondents to justify the source of the funds. Justice Olateregu, while delivering the judgment, said Patient Jonathan failed to show reasonable cause why the money should not be forfeited to the federal government as proceeds of unlawful activity. Also, in trial within trial, in the case of Ondo State Chairman of PDP, Clement Faboyede and Modupe Adetokunbo, 15 state campaign, a member of the EFCC investigation team told the court that the defendants made their statements voluntarily, contrary to allegation that the statements were obtained under duress. Both are facing charges of money laundering brought against them by the EFCC. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
And to security matters, the military is being repositioned to effectively address emerging security challenges across the country. This is part of the deliberations at the 2019 Nigerian Armed Day and Combat Arms Support Training Week held in Lagos. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
This is the annual Nigerian Army Day celebration NACEL, an event that provides an avenue for these principal officers to reflect and make projections on the operations and administration of the fighting formation. With the Army clocking 156 years since its establishment in 1863 as the Global Hausa, this platform, a joint celebration of NACEL and the Combat Arms Training Week, is a unique gathering and a reminder of the departed souls that paid the supreme sacrifice for the unity of Nigeria.
The choice of 6th July as Nigerian Army Day is due to the historical fact that the first shot during the Nigerian Civil War was fired on that day at Garkem back in 1967. The 30-month Civil War was fought to keep Nigeria one, with soldiers paying.
Of defense staff assured Nigerians that the military has been
The Armed Forces of Nigeria is reorganized.
For training week were held in Borno State. From Lagos, Ismail.